Thank you for coming back to my channel. In this video, I'll be showing you how to design your Ankara t-shirts with love shape. So come along with me. So to draft the love shape, we'll be folding a piece of paper. This is a full scalp sheet that I've cut out of a book. So fold it into two and just draft the love shape. So I'm not so much of an artist. No, I'm not even an artist. So I'm just going to use my hand to do a rough sketch. Might not be so perfect, but this is how I do the love shape when I need to make one. So I fold paper into two. Depending on the size you want, you can reduce the size of your paper. So depending on the size you want, just reduce the size of your paper. And as you can see, this is what I have. So I'll go ahead to cut out. And with that, I have my love pattern. So this is the love pattern that I have. It doesn't look so perfect, but it's cool enough for me. So with this now, I have my pattern and I have my fabric. So I want to cut out two love shapes, and I folded this fabric into four. As you can see here, I folded the fabric into four so I can have two shapes. So unfold like that. I'll also fold back the pattern and then place on the fabric to cut it out. So now, as you can see, we have two shapes and we can decide to design anyhow. I can decide to design anyhow. At this point, I wasn't even sure how I wanted to design the shirt, so I'm just going to play around and see what comes out of it. So there are different ways to style this anyhow you want, but majorly now what is important is how to work with the edges. So I'm going to do that one after the other, and I'm going to do different ways you can work with your edges. So you can see, so I have these decorated bias that I use. So it's a decorative, it's like bias, yeah. So I got it from the store, from the fashion store. So I'm going to tape it round the love shape. And for the other part, I think I'm just going to use bias to turn it over before placing on the fabric. I'll use the normal bias that we know, as you can see. Normal half-inch bias to tape it round before placing on the fabric. So for the first one, let's work with the first shape. I'll pin down the bias. I don't even know what the name is called, but I think I'll just call it bias, decorative bias. Pin it with the fabric around the edges of the shape. So I'm attaching this so it will be easy for me to sew on the machine when I have to sew it. So for that part, I'm going to elongate the stitch a bit beyond the meeting point there. So pin that part off, pin that part down rather, and then when I finish sewing, I'm going to cut off that extra inch. But I'm leaving it now in case I have any issues on the machine. So here I've finished attaching, I've finished stitching. I'm going to take out the pins and then cut out that extra part. So I have a clean finish there. So for the second part, at this point I decided that I wanted to have a smaller shape and not have too big love shapes. So I'm just reducing the size to look like what I want. So I'm going to reduce it further because I still feel it's too big. So I'm just following the shape and I'm cutting out. So it still looks a bit big, and I'm just going to trace off with a piece of chalk and cut off like that. And I'm going to make do with this. So I'm going to stitch the bias on the front side of the fabric around the shape as I've done here. So I stitched on the front side of the fabric, round the shape, just following the shape like that. So now I'm going to notch round the shape so it will be easy to fold over. Notch a bit, be careful not to cut into the stitches. So I'm just notching carefully around the shape, and I'm just going to fold over. So fold carefully around the edges of the fabric. You can also iron it if you prefer. So here I've put down with pin. I held it down with pin. I'm going to transfer to my machine to sew on the edge. Here I am sewing very close to the edge of the shape. I'm just following the pattern and moving my fabric as I stitch round. So be careful not to sew the other side of the fabric. So now I am done, and it's as easy as that. I'm just taking out the excess thread, and that's it, guys. It's very easy and simple to make. So thank you for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and watch other videos on my channel. I have lots of interesting content I'll be putting up soon. You don't want to miss out on that, guys. So please subscribe, like my videos, and share them till I come your way again next time. Bye for now.